So I'm gonna be making my cauliflower mash, and this is literally all the ingredients you need right here. In the back, that's unsalted beef broth, or beef stock they call it. Some low cholesterol margarine, 1 bunch of green onions, and 1 bulb of cauliflower. Oh, and 1 tube of minced garlic, so you don't spend all day mincing garlic. Okay, so I rinsed out the cauliflower, obviously. Then I removed the stalk and pulled all the green leaves from the head of cauliflower. And then I took it back to the sink and rinsed it out again to make sure you get everything all clean. Don't worry about those little brown spots on there, that's normal. So then I cut it into pieces about this size. I used to chop it down to a bunch of small pieces like this before I put it in the pot. But I have a little cheat code now because I use my food processor. And this size fits into these blades pretty good. You gotta watch out for the Ninja blades. That shit cut me just pulling out of the box like crazy. Okay, so now this blender has this mode right here. You go down to small chop, whatever, and it does its little thing. You want to get small pieces about that size so that when you put it in the pot, it absorbs all the flavors correctly. So then I use a pot about this size, but that's probably excessive because it's only going to come up like 1/3 of the way. But I put maybe a 1/2 cup of olive oil in there. It's hard to see there. There you go. 1/2 cup, maybe 3/4 of a measure cup. Okay, pan's got a little burn mark there. Then just gonna go ahead and dump the cauliflower in there. The green onion I just chopped down on the cutting board because when you put the long shoots in the food processor, they don't, it doesn't chop it down. They just get tangled up in there anyway. So this is better. Okay, so now that we have everything in the pot, I turn the heat up to just a little more than medium heat. And we're gonna stir this around, get it mixed up in the olive oil. Then we'll cover it up and let it brown for a little bit before we start adding other ingredients. Okay, so it's been about 7 or 8 minutes with this covered on above medium, just a little above medium heat. And I've stirred it a few different times, put the lid back on. Starting to brown a little bit, but now I'm gonna take the unsalted beef broth and just put like a couple little pours in there, not a whole lot. Okay, and then of course you're gonna mix it up in there too and all that. Using this big old pot, I should have a big old spoon to go with it, but instead I get my arm burned every time, whatever. Okay, so it's been about 5 more minutes after we put in the beef broth, unsalted beef broth. And now I'm gonna add this entire tube of minced garlic here. Just kind of spread it around, you know. You want to put the whole tube in. It tells you on the back, it's like 1 tablespoon equals 1 clove. So, teaspoon actually. So, on the back of that tube of garlic, it said that 1 serving size is 1 teaspoon, which is 1 clove. And there's 23 servings in there, so that means I just put in 23 cloves of minced garlic, and that tube costs like $5 at the store. So if I wanted to save money, I could get a bunch of garlic and spend an hour or more mincing it up, but I figure I'll put the $5 on it like that because I know I don't have that level of commitment for just 1 side dish, right? But you know, this is going to yield an amount of food to last for about a week, and it keeps well in if you put it in a real tight piece of Tupperware, or if you don't have a tightly closing piece of Tupperware, put that in Tupperware inside a Ziploc bag also would help out. Alright, so it's been about another 4 minutes. You want to try to get most of the oil evaporated, you know, in the broth. But this is after the garlic paste has gone in there, and you stir it a few times in that 4 minutes. Put the lid back on. And now I'm going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of that low cholesterol margarine in here. Now remember, this is going to last for about a week, so you're not going to be eating all that margarine in one sitting, you know, like 5 days. Then a couple more minutes and it's ready to blend. Okay, so I got it back in the blender. Now, one thing that's important about putting hot liquids or hot food in a blender is you should have something on the top that you can take out so that steam can come out. Because if you don't let that steam have an exit, it can cause a problem with your blender. It can cause a problem with the seals. The steam needs to evacuate while it's blending. It can also be dangerous. So this time I'm going to do Blend Sense, which is just like a normal blender, and it's going to make it real fine. Okay, so there you have it. That's after taking it out of the blender. And you can see it kind of has the texture of mashed potatoes. And it yields about that much quantity. I would say that's like when you have it with meat or vegetables on the side. You're basically eating more vegetables with this as well. You're probably looking at like 5 meals worth here as a side. Here's a little remote control to give you scale. Anywho, hope you like it. Thought I'd show you how I serve it up. Some roast beef on top. That's about 1/5 of what we just made. That roast beef though, that's a whole nother video. A lot of protein. Actually, I just microwaved it.